Right. American national George Glezmann is back on U.S. soil following his 2.5-year captivity in Afghanistan by the Taliban. And we're now learning new details surrounding Qatar's role in securing his freedom. Secretary of State Marco Rubio writing this in a statement. We extend our deepest appreciation to the state of Qatar, whose steadfast commitment and diplomatic efforts were instrumental in securing George's release. Qatar has consistently proven to be a reliable partner and trusted mediator, facilitating complex negotiations. George's release is a positive and constructive step. It also is a reminder that other Americans are still detained in Afghanistan. President Trump will continue his tireless work to free all Americans unjustly detained around the world. And here now to discuss how that release transpired is senior advisor to the Prime Minister of Qatar and spokesperson for Qatar's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Majed Al-Ansari. Doctor, thanks for coming on. Good to see you today.
Thank you, Bob. It's a pleasure to be with you.
So the way I've read some reports that this release was done in goodwill. Talk about how you were able to help facilitate this, the role of the United States, and the details on this.
Well, Bob, we've been doing these negotiations for quite a while now. This is how we got Corbett and McEntee home through these negotiations. You know, since the Taliban took over in Afghanistan, post the 2021, we immediately started working on these issues with the American administrations. And since President Trump came in, we were told, hey, let's do whatever we can to bring our guys back home. And this is exactly what we did. And through a lot of meetings in the past couple of months, we found a window of opportunity where the Taliban said we are willing to give a goodwill gesture to the Trump administration through the release of George. We immediately jumped on the opportunity, and with the envoy of the president here in Doha, we had a lot of meetings to discuss how this would happen. Immediately, as soon as we got a window of opportunity, Adam and our team went to Kabul, where they met, as the pictures are telling now on the screen, with counterparts from the Afghan interim government. And as soon as these meetings ended, George was shaking hands with Adam, and he was on our plane coming back home to, first of all, of course, through Doha, where our paramedics checked him, and we are very happy that we found him in good health. And he was on his way to the U.S., where he is now with his wife, Alexandra, of course.
Doctor, I understand that his family, of course, is beyond thrilled as expected, but also his daughter said earlier today that they didn't even realize that this was happening until the night before he came home, and that I guess he had already been released and was already on his way by the time the family knew for sure. What can you tell us about some of those behind-the-scenes detail? Was it intentional to wait until you knew it was happening to let the family know?
You know, Katrina, in these kind of sensitive mediations, it's always very important to maintain a veil of secrecy on the whole process. You know, any leaked information, any wrong statement could derail the whole process. And our focus was on seeing George and Alexandra and their family together after the 2 years that they have lost in their lives, you know, reunited. And that's what needed, that we maintain this, as I said, veil of secrecy. And we're very thankful to both sides who have helped us throughout the process and made sure that all the pieces were in place at the right time. You know, we've done countless of these throughout the years in countless contexts, and it's always very important to maintain a low profile while you're doing this, to maintain hope, and to be very consistent in your communications to both sides, and make sure that until the last moment, nothing could derail the process. It's not a moment for PR or for making media wins. It's a moment for families to be reunited together. It needs us, you know, to maintain that seriousness while we're doing it.
Well, Doctor, we appreciate everything that you and your fellow colleagues and lawmakers in Qatar did, working with the United States, of course, to bring this gentleman home. And I know his family is very thankful as well. Dr. Majed Al-Ansari, thank you so much.